Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about money and Lyme disease because unfortunately, money is something that seems to get in the way of everybody who has Lyme disease and treating it. So I'm going to talk about a little bit behind the controversy and the problems behind why there are so many issues with people being able to afford treatment, and then go further and talk about cheaper ways, alternatives on how people can try to save money and be able to get treatment without, even if they don't have a lot of money. So first off, a big problem in with people who have Lyme disease or are diagnosed with Lyme disease is the lack of money they have or lack of funding there is, or insurance companies covering things for them to be able to treat what they're going through effectively. And this is a hardship for almost everybody, unless you're a millionaire or something like that. Almost everybody I know with Lyme disease runs into this issue, unfortunately, because treatment is so expensive. A lot of people can't work, and insurance companies don't cover a lot of things. So they run into this brick wall. And on top of that, unfortunately, there are doctors out there who do charge a lot of money, do all these things, and really are not helping people. And I don't want to say necessarily they take advantage of people, but to an extent, people who have Lyme are severely impaired, so they don't necessarily have good judgment. So they end up spending all this money, these guessing games, and getting nowhere. And then like $10,000, $20,000 goes by of money they really didn't even have. So that's a big part of the problem. The lack of money that people have from getting better, which is really shitty, to be honest, because money should not get in the way of somebody being able to get better and be provided the proper treatments or do what they need to do to get better. It's really unfortunate. So some things in my experience and some things I've learned to kind of save money are as follows. These are some tips I've learned, just different things. Just take it as information that maybe can help you. I'm not trying to give medical advice or anything like that. This is specifically just me giving information of maybe some things that might help you afford the treatment you need, or tricks, different things that are cheaper alternatives or tricks around the system, or tricks to be able to get medications for free or almost nothing. So let's say let's talk about antibiotics first. So let's say you have all these antibiotics that you need to take. Well, first off, there are a lot of companies that actually can give you a bottle of antibiotics for free. One of those companies is Alinea. If you are financially strapped, or you prove that you don't make a lot of money, Alinea will provide you, or the company that makes Alinea will provide you a free bottle every month, and you can get your doctor to just basically sign it, and you can get a free bottle of Alinea every month. And insurance companies rarely cover Alinea. It's a really powerful drug that is used for not only killing bacteria but also parasites, biofilm, and other things of that nature. So Alinea isn't Romark, who makes Alinea, is not only a company that does stuff like this. There's other companies that do things like that, and it's always worth looking into to see if a company will do this for you and call them up. I know it takes a little bit of work and it's hard, but if you can get a bottle for free that you would not be able to afford otherwise, and that allows you to get the treatment. Another option is if you live near Mexico, antibiotics, antiparasitic drugs, a lot of things are way, way, way cheaper down there. And I mean like 10% cheaper. So some drugs that are like $1,000 here will be like $60 in Mexico. It's usually the same exact thing, the same strength, if not maybe even stronger. And it's another alternative if you live close enough that you can actually go there and get the treatment you need, so you don't have to be without it. Um, Another thing is, so let's say your insurance does, let's say you do have insurance and you're trying to get antibiotics covered and they are not covering certain antibiotics. Well, you have the right to go to the State Department. I live in California, so I would go to the Department of Health in California, but there's a Department of Health, I'm pretty sure, in every state, where you can actually go there and have your case heard and fight against the insurance companies. Sure, there's a possibility you won't win, but at least it's a try that if you can prove to them and show them the need for it, show them evidence and things like that, and have it taken to a neutral party, there's a chance that you might actually get your medication covered by your insurance, or they'll have to cover it if this neutral party, this advisory board, actually rules in your favor. So that's another option. So it's a little bit about, with antibiotics. And another option will also with antibiotics, you can go to Canada. There's cheaper alternatives in Canada. You can also go to a site called All Day Chemist. That place has a lot of cheaper alternatives for medication as well. On top of that, there are a lot of doctors who get free samples, get free bottles, maybe trying to work with your doctor to try to get these free bottles and free samples for these medications to help you be able to take what you need to take. Now, let's say you're not taking antibiotics. Let's say you need to go, they don't agree with you for whatever reason. You need to go to an alternative or a cheaper approach. Some things that are less expensive that are very effective are things like MMS, which is about 25 bucks a bottle of it that can last you literally 6-7 months, if not longer. And it's known to kill everything from parasites to viruses to bacteria to pretty much anything in your body. Some people respond to it, some people don't, but it's another cheap alternative that is kills a lot of things uniformly. So that is one way to go. As far as things like, as far as other programs are concerned, I believe the Cowden actually can provide people who with financial hardship. I think they actually can, if not give it at a massively discounted price, or if not free, the whole Cowden protocol. So, that's another thing that you can look into. If you can't afford something like the Cowden protocol, I believe they help those in need and offer help for those financially struggling. Some other cheap alternatives that can help as far as like detoxing goes are things like just going in the bath, taking an Epsom salt bath, doing coffee enemas are really inexpensive and a cheap alternative, drinking things like lemon water. Things like that are just basically using like natural foods and things like that are known to have detoxing and killing capabilities, like raw garlic and stuff like that you can actually get creative and make yourself. Yes, it takes a little bit more work, but a lot of times these herbs and these other things that are really expensive, these little tincture bottles, are really just a makeup of natural foods and things that kill that are really, really inexpensive. Another thing that's very inexpensive and is something that's gaining a lot of traction in the Lyme community is bee venom therapy. And bee venom therapy, I can't speak too much about it, but basically the whole idea behind it is you sting your body and the venom gets released and actually can kill biofilm and bacteria, and it's an immunomodulator and helps boost your immune system. So, and bees are cheap. Bees are really inexpensive, and it's showing a lot of progress with a lot of people. So it's another inexpensive alternative that you can look into if you can't afford certain things. On top of this, there are a lot of IV treatments that in the US are expensive, but in other countries like Mexico are very inexpensive. And there are very reputable, very safe clinics that do it for very, very, very cheap or very inexpensive costs. And, just doing the research and looking into that is another thing you can do to be able to afford things and afford treatment. The other thing is another kind of advice that I would give, and kind of the last thing I would give, is if you finally figure out you have Lyme disease and you're kind of very sick, you can't have a clear decision, you don't know what path to go on, you don't know where to go, this way or that way, take a step back, get some help from somebody who has a clear head, and really help, like before you decide to spend a lot of money or spend things, like really do your research and evaluate things, because I think a lot of times we want to get better so fast that we don't really think about it because of how we feel and spend money frivolously. I mean, I'm not frivolously, but not in maybe the best way possible. And then months go by, we realize that wasn't working. So always do your due diligence. And if you need help, ask for help. Get a family member, get somebody who really has a good sense, somebody who understands money really well, good logic, really smart, intuitive, good with research to kind of help you get on track and do these things. So I hope that helps. I hope I helped you out in some way, shape, or form, and some of this information can help you. Because that's why I made this video, and I wish you the best with everything and know that there are better days ahead. Thank you.